get started, I'd like to welcome you to the regularly stated meeting of the Wadsworth City School District Board of Education for Monday, October 13th. If you would stand with me and join for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Beeman.
Julie Beatty.
Here.
Amanda Gordon.
Here.
Tim Beck.
Here.
Gary McComas.
Here.
Ava Canada. And also note Jill Stevens is absent.
In your board packets, you received the minutes from the past meetings, so I'd want to get a motion to sign the minutes.
So free.
Second. Okay, roll call, Doug.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye.
Tim Beck. Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye. Okay, moving to student and staff recognition, Dr. Hill.
Thank you, President Gordon. At this time, I would ask for our students of the month and principals to please make their way backstage. Board, once we finish with students of the month presentation, there will be a presentation on the financial forecast by Mr. Beeman. You may want to take your microphones with you in case you have questions. Then we'll reconvene up here.
Good evening. My name is Sanana Kelly. I'm the principal at Franklin Elementary School, and I am so proud to celebrate Nora Kajati as Franklin Elementary's October Student of the Month. Nora's bright smile and positive attitude make our school a happier place. She is always kind and ready to help her classmates whenever they need it. Nora truly models the Franklin way by being safe, kind, responsible, and a problem solver. She comes to school prepared each day, completes all of her assignments, and enriches classroom discussions with her many interesting facts and ideas. When asked what she wants to be when she grows up, Nora said she hopes to become a teacher because she loves helping people learn new things, and she admitted it might be fun to boss people around a little bit too. Her favorite Franklin memory is spending the day outdoors at Camp Christopher in 3rd grade, learning new things and spending time with friends. Nora's family includes her mom, dad, sister, brother, and their dog, Louie. She loves going on trips with her family because it means spending quality time together and making memories. Outside of school, Nora enjoys playing with friends, coloring and creating things, and participating in volleyball with plans to join lacrosse soon. Nora's favorite subject is history because she enjoys learning about the past and what it means for the future. She shared that her mom is her biggest role model because she's always there to help, whether it's with volleyball, homework, or anything else. Nora says her mom works hard for her family and is always there for everyone. It's clear that this same kindness and dedication shine through Nora herself. Nora sets a great example for her classmates by always giving her best effort and staying focused on her goals. Her enthusiasm for learning and her leadership in the classroom inspire those around her to do their best too. Nora is an amazing kid with a beautiful heart. She makes the world and everyone around her better just by being herself. Her leadership, positivity, and care for others truly embody what it means to be a Franklin Grizzly. Please join me in congratulating Nora Kajati.
Good evening. My name is Chris Dalka, and I'm the principal at Isham Elementary School. It's my honor tonight to recognize Lily Qualters as Isham's 4th grade student of the month. Lily's teacher, Mrs. Carpenter, describes her as a focused and responsible student who consistently stays on task, completes her work on time, and asks thoughtful questions when she needs help. Mrs. Carpenter shared that she can always count on Lily to make good choices, lend a hand to others, and go above and beyond when needed. Lily's teachers also note that she is a strong self-advocate who communicates her needs clearly while always being kind and respectful to everyone around her. Her friendly attitude and steady effort make her a wonderful example for her peers, and her teachers truly appreciate all that she brings to the classroom community. Lily, your hard work and positive attitude represent exactly what we value most at Isham Elementary: responsibility, kindness, and curiosity. Keep up the great work. On a side note, Lily is one of my sign crew that, if you know anything about the sign at Isham, it might not have been changed for a few years. However, we've already changed it several times this year, and she is one of the helpers, and I can't wait to see all that she can do for us outside there. When asked a few questions, Lily shared a little more about herself. She enjoys most about school art, for one, because she gets to be creative whenever she wants. She also enjoys spending time with friends and learning something new every single day. She's just grateful to be at school. She transferred to Isham in 3rd grade and shared that it quickly felt like the right fit because she's made wonderful new friends. While her favorite subject is art, she also said that science is another one of her favorite subjects, as she especially enjoyed learning through experiments with gravity this year. When thinking about the future, Lily said that each year her mom has her fill out a back-to-school board, and this year she wrote that she wants to be a fashion designer. Her mom thinks she'd also be a great graphic designer, creating artwork for things like cereal boxes or ads, so maybe someday we'll all see Lily's creativity out in our world. Outside of school, Lily enjoys playing with her brother, reading, drawing, and swinging at the park. Lily said she admires her grandma, mom, stepdad, aunt, and uncle because they are all amazing people, and she hopes to be like them. She also mentioned her mom's friends, Auntie Jen and Uncle Mike, who have been wonderful role models in her life. Finally, when asked what advice she would give to her kindergarten self, Lily said she wouldn't change a thing. She would simply say, just have fun. Lily, that's great advice for all of us. Congratulations on being named Isham Elementary Student of the Month. We're so proud of you.
Good evening. My name is Laura Maslick, proud principal at Lincoln Elementary, and it is my pleasure to introduce Hannah Buchanan, Lincoln's October Board Student of the Month. Hannah is the daughter of Lucas and Nancy Buchanan. She is sister to Adam, Heidi, and Ella. Here is what Hannah's teachers, Mrs. Barker and Miss Sibio, had to say when nominating her. Hannah is a shining example of quiet strength and consistent effort. She treats others with kindness and respect, always leading by example through her words and actions. You can always count on Hannah to stay on task, follow directions, and give her best effort. What truly sets Hannah apart is her sense of responsibility. She doesn't just do the right thing when someone's watching. She does it because that's who she is. She takes care of her belongings, respects materials, and she reminds us that responsibility and leadership doesn't always mean being the loudest voice in the room. It can also mean being steady, kind, and dependable. Hannah's favorite subject is science because she loves exploring new ideas and conducting experiments to see how things work. She's also passionate about art and crafting, where she says she enjoys expressing her feelings and creativity through her art projects. Outside of school, Hannah loves to play outdoors and draw. One of her favorite summer moments, I love this, is feeling the grass under her bare feet while she plays outside. She also plays the piano and has been taking lessons for about 1.5 years, and currently she's working on a hard-to-perform piece that is 5 pages. Hannah has been a Lincoln student since kindergarten and says she has loved all of her teachers, describing each of them as kind and supportive. She strives to be a good example for others and offers this wonderful advice to her peers. It's okay to just be you. It's okay to ask questions because teachers will help you. And the best way to make a new friend is simply to say hi and ask to play with them. This year, Hannah quietly leads in many ways throughout our school. She helps deliver the morning announcements, and she's spectacular, by the way. Serves on the Green Team Recycling Club, is a Bear Paw helper, and represents her classmates as a member of our 4th grade student council. Please join me in congratulating Hannah Buchanan, our outstanding student of the month and a role model for all Grizzlies.
Good evening. My name is Dave Ryder, and I'm the principal at Overlook Elementary. It's my honor to recognize Daniel Warrens as Overlook Elementary's October Board Student of the Month. Daniel, a dedicated 4th grader, shines brightly both in and out of the classroom. His teachers, Mrs. Bennett and Mrs. Whistler, shared, "We are so excited to nominate Daniel Warrens as Overlook's Board Student of the Month. Daniel is an excellent role model for his peers. He comes to school each day enthusiastic and ready to learn. Daniel is a kind and caring friend. He is respectful to his classmates and teachers. Daniel is not afraid to ask questions and accepts help when needed, as he is always striving to be his best. Daniel's positive attitude and desire to succeed make him a student for his peers to emulate. Keep up the great work, Daniel. We are so proud of you." At school, Daniel is a member of the announcements team. He has a passion for science because he enjoys performing experiments and making new discoveries. Daniel finds joy in playing with his good friends at recess. In his future, he aspires to become a 4th grade science and math teacher. One of his favorite Overlook memories is meeting his best friend, Oliver, whom Daniel connected with when he started 2nd grade at Overlook. Outside of school, Daniel enjoys swimming, riding his bike, playing Minecraft, and also playing with his sister. He is also involved in small groups at his church, which he values greatly. Daniel's favorite food is plain noodles. I had to pause on this one. And his favorite restaurant is Marie's, where he orders plain noodles. And again, making sure I knew that he did not like any sauce. Daniel also shared a memorable experience visiting the Ark Encounter in Kentucky, a unique theme park featuring a full-scale wooden replica of Noah's Ark. And after he told me about this, I took a little bit of time to Google that because I thought it was just an interesting thing, and it really looks amazing. Daniel, you exemplify what it means to be an Overlook Grizzly. Your kindness, enthusiasm, and hard work inspire us all. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. We are so proud of you.
Good evening. I'm Carrie Hampshire. I'm the principal at Valley View Elementary, and I am very excited to introduce Bella Warner to you as Valley View Student of the Month. Her mom, Stephanie, and dad, Chris, sister, Emma, and her grandparents, Nani and Papa, are here to celebrate with her this evening. She was nominated by her teachers, Mrs. Wolf and Mrs. Octella. Mrs. Wolf had the following things to say about Bella. She is constantly setting a good example of how to be safe, kind, and responsible. She has a great work ethic and is always trying to learn more and grow her brain. In her spare time, Bella is involved in Girl Scouts, plays volleyball and lacrosse. She also loves animals and playing with her friends. Bella is incredibly helpful to both students and staff. She notices when people need assistance or help, and she is quick to jump in. She's a wonderful citizen in our classroom and helps daily to make our class run smoothly. She is truly a joy to have as part of our class. I got an opportunity to sit down with Bella to talk about what we were going to share this evening, and she had some interesting things that she wanted to make sure everyone knew about her. Bella is really interested in becoming a math and reading teacher when she grows up. Now, we're just going to plug right now that she does want to come back to Wadsworth to teach, so everyone who's involved in that process, this little lady would like to come back. She currently serves on our student council and is on our Veterans Day committee. She is looking forward to recognizing all of our veterans at our assembly on November 13th. She's helping to put together the slideshow for that. Bella also said that one of the people that she really looks up to is her cousin Natalie. She said that's because she's kind, she makes her laugh, especially when she's sad. She gave me an example that her cousin dressed up with her and took her trick-or-treating when she didn't have anybody else to go with. Bella has showed this same type of kindness to many of our students at Valley View. When I asked Bella if she had any advice for our students, she said, "If you work hard, you'll get a reward. If you do what is kind and responsible, you'll lead others down the right path." Bella is doing an amazing job of leading others down the path of kindness, responsibility, and success. We are very proud of Bella. Congratulations.
Hello and good evening, Board of Education and Wadsworth Community. I'm Brandon Cobb, Principal of Wadsworth Intermediate School. I'm here tonight to celebrate October Board Student of the Month, Blake Bertram. Blake is the son of Emily and Matthew Bertram. He's a fifth grader, was nominated by his teachers, Mrs. Brooks, Mrs. Bever, and Mrs. Wolf. Here's what his teachers had to say. Team Inspire is proud to recognize Blake Bertram as October Board Student of the Month. Blake consistently demonstrates respect, responsibility, and a strong work ethic. He approaches every task with determination and perseverance, especially excelling in mathematics, where his focus and dedication are evident. Beyond the classroom, he enjoys participating in sports such as baseball and football, showing the same commitment and teamwork that he displays at school. He is kind to his peers, follows directions attentively, and serves as a positive role model for others. Blake's admirable character and dedication to both academics and personal growth make him truly deserving of Student of the Month recognition. We're happy to celebrate his achievements and positive spirit. Please help me congratulate WIS October Board Student of the Month, Blake Bertram.
Good evening. My name is Chris Roberts, proud principal at Wadsworth Middle School. It is my honor tonight to recognize our Wadsworth Middle School Board Student of the Month for October, Mr. Liam Eccles. Liam has a true love of learning, especially in math, where he says it just comes naturally to him. Science is also among his favorite subjects because he enjoys the chance to explore new ideas through experiments and labs. Liam is a very intelligent young man, but his academic success is not solely the result of his abilities. Liam shared that his success can also be attributed to the kindness and support of his teachers and his friends, and which he greatly appreciates. One accomplishment Liam is particularly proud of is being nominated for Hope Squad, a role that gives him the opportunity to help others, a responsibility that he takes to heart. He stays motivated by paying attention in class, asking questions, and giving his best effort every day. Outside of the classroom, Liam is passionate about sports. He enjoys playing basketball and baseball with his friends and is preparing to try out for the Wadsworth Middle School basketball team this year. His goals for the rest of the year include earning all A's, making the basketball team, and continuing to be a model for others by showing kindness to his peers, teachers, and of course his family. When asked who has influenced him the most, Liam credits his parents, who he describes as nice, helpful, and always supportive. He also points to Mrs. Smith's honors algebra class, where he has found her engagement, humor, and consistent kindness to be very motivating. Regarding the pathway to being successful at Wadsworth Middle School, Liam's offered this advice to his peers. Stay focused, work hard, and above all, be kind and supportive of others, especially when they're struggling. Be the one who lifts them up. It is clear that Liam embodies the values in all that he does, and we are proud to celebrate him as our Student of the Month. So please help me congratulate Mr. Liam Eccles as he receives this well-deserved accolade.
Good evening. I'm Benton Suber, and I'm the proud principal of Wadsworth High School. And we proudly present Gavin Madigan as October's Career Tech Student of the Month. Gavin is the son of Brian and Angela Madigan. He enjoys hanging out with his friends, his brother Caden, as well as watching the Cleveland Browns and Ohio State football. Gavin is a highly accomplished student at Wadsworth High School, demonstrating excellence both inside and outside the classroom. He is a member of Grizzly Leaders and Hope Squad. He is a leader on the football team, as he's been a 3-time varsity captain and has been recognized as 3-time first-team All-Suburban League winner, first-team All-District, and honorable mention All-State. He also runs track in the spring. In Career Tech, Gavin is a member of our carpentry program. Throughout his 4 years at Wadsworth High School in his Career Tech program, Gavin has maintained an impressive 4.3 grade point average while taking 2 AP classes and 3 CCP classes and being involved in a variety of other activities. He has earned the highest honor roll 12 times in a row. Outside of school, he volunteers with youth football events and coaches the youth flag team. He is a member of Junior Leadership Medina County, where he has volunteered with the Feeding Medina County Food Bank. Gavin has had a positive impact on Wadsworth High School in his compact program. Gavin's carpentry teacher, Mr. Horvat, had this to say about him. Gavin is the poster child for leadership. He has been nothing short of responsible, dependable, and punctual. He is always quick to help another student with any type of issue. The world could use more Gavin Madigans. Mrs. Kuzmitz, his science teacher, describes him as a true leader that leads by example and makes everyone around him better. Gavin has an inward drive that will allow him to excel at anything he tries to accomplish. He is conscientious, focused, and compassionate and empathetic towards others. It was a pleasure to have had him in class, and he is a wonderful role model for others. After graduation, Gavin plans on attending the United States Military Academy at West Point to study mechanical engineering and play football. When asked about his time at Wadsworth High School, he said, "I am so thankful for the opportunities at Wadsworth High School and the continuous support from the community." Please join me in congratulating Gavin Madigan. Wadsworth High School proudly presents Dominic Jackson as October's Student of the Month. Dominic Jackson is the son of Eric and Tracy Jackson. Dom enjoys bow hunting, fishing, and working on vehicles and boats with his grandpa. His favorite color is red. At Wadsworth High School, Dom exemplifies leadership and dedication. He is involved in Huddle, Grizzly Leadership, and National Honor Society. He also serves as an ambassador for Junior Leadership in Medina County, coaches youth football, and active with his church. Dominic is also a dedicated athlete, excelling as a defensive back on the football team and a sprinter in track and field. He is currently a varsity member and a multi-year letter winner in both sports. Dominic's academic commitment is truly impressive. This year, he's taken 2 AP courses and 2 CCP courses. Throughout his high school career, he has completed a total of 6 AP classes and 4 CCP classes, earning him the prestigious AP Scholar Award, while also maintaining an active role in extracurricular activities and working at AK Construction. This rigorous course load, combined with an outstanding 4.4 grade point average, is a clear reflection of his dedication to his education. One of his teachers, Mrs. Pernod, had this to say about Dominic. Dom's work ethic is stellar. His dedication to reaching his full potential is evident as he seeks out additional help to answer his questions. He's not content with being good enough. He works hard to truly excel. He is a natural leader in the classroom, on the field, and in his heart for others. He is the epitome of an ideal student, and he's a joy to work with. After graduating from high school, Dom plans to attend college and major in civil engineering. His determination, character, and drive will ensure his success. When asked about his time at Wadsworth High School, he had this to say: "I am incredibly thankful for the people and experience I've had the privilege to be part of at Wadsworth High School. I want to express my gratitude to the entire Wadsworth High School staff for creating such a wonderful learning environment for all students." Please join me in congratulating Dominic Jackson.
Congratulations again to all of our students of the month, family, friends, and others. Thank you for joining us here this evening. This time we're going to transition on to the business portion of the board meeting, starting with a presentation on our most updated financial forecast by our treasurer. If you came just for the Student of the Month presentation, you're welcome to leave at this time, but you're also more than welcome to stay if you choose to. Thank you.
Mention financial forecast, and everybody leaves. Thank you, Mrs. Simpson. So I'm going to give you an update on the forecast that I'm going to ask you to adopt later on in the meeting. Be the first to admit that it's not a lot of great news, but I don't think it's any surprising news. We've been talking about where we've been heading financially for a while now, going all the way back to the levy that we passed in 2021, and here we are almost 5 years later, and kind of where we thought we would be. But the first thing I want to point out is our state legislature, as part of the biennial budget this past summer, changed it from a 5-year forecast to a 4-year projection. So they cut 1 year off of it. Variety of reasons why they did that, which I could stand up here and talk about for the next 20 minutes alone, but we won't do that. They also shortened or changed the months. So typically we used to adopt a forecast in November and then again in May. They changed it to August and February. But this year, since they didn't adopt it till July, they gave us till October. So this year it's October and February, and then moving forward will be August and February. We believe the primary reason for that has to do a lot with what's going on with county budget commissions and getting the information to the county budget commission sooner so they can review stuff and possibly act when the budget's submitted to them near the beginning of the calendar year. But those are the things I want to hit on tonight. Property tax reform, public utility personal property tax, Nexus. We've been talking about Nexus for several years. This will probably be the last time you'll hear me say Nexus pipeline. Hit on the biennial budget a little bit, staffing, healthcare, insurance, and third party. So the majority of the presentation is going to focus really on the first three, because those are the things that are having the biggest impact on our financial picture. So starting out with property tax reform. Why is there so much going on in our state right now related to property tax reform? 3 primary reasons. 1, skyrocketing home values. Home values in Ohio have gone up over 45% since 2020. So in the last 5 years, home values through reappraisals and triennial updates across the state have increased dramatically. That combined with over 2 decades of policy changes at the state level that has shifted the tax burden for education away from the state and the business community to local property owners. In 1991, 46% of the education bill across the state was paid by local property taxes. Today, almost 68% of that is paid by local property taxes. So the state has made a variety of public policy decisions, which can be good. Many of them, like for example, elimination of the tangible personal property tax, to make our state a more business-friendly state, create economic development. All of that's good. The problem is it's left less money at the state available to allocate to public education, less money from the business community, and shifted that tax burden from the state and the business community to local property tax owners. And the third thing, combined with the first two, is the 20 mil floor. So what is the 20 mil floor? We know as property values increase through reappraisal, which Medina County just had in 2025, property values go up, the effective millage rate on voted levies goes down, and school districts maintain the same level of tax collections. Well, over time, as those property values keep going up, 46% in the last 5 years, property rates, millage rates, keep going down and down and down. When they hit the 20 mil mark, the law says that they cannot go any lower than that for public education. So now, when you get to 20 mils, if your property values go up through reappraisal, that millage rate can't roll back anymore, and property owners see a large increase in their tax bill. So typically when property values go up, just because your property value goes up, you don't necessarily see a huge increase in your tax bill because those millage rates are rolled back. When you hit the 20 mil floor, they can't roll back anymore. People get large tax bills. What do they do when they get large tax bills? They contact their state legislators because their taxes are going up. What do state legislators want to do? Get reelected. So they propose legislation to deal with those types of things. Why is this a big deal? 62% of the school districts in the state of Ohio are at the 20 mil floor. Fortunately, Wadsworth is not. Okay, so Medina County just threw a reappraisal. Property values went up. Our millage rates rolled back. So our property owners in the Wadsworth City School Districts aren't going to see a huge tax increase. Property owners in other school districts that are at the 20 mil floor will see a big increase in their property taxes. So those three things, home values, policy changes, and the number of districts that are moving onto the 20 mil floor are what's really driving this whole property tax reform discussion throughout the state and here locally in Medina County. So there's 4 pending bills right now that have been introduced at the state level, all dealing with property tax reform. The first and the third deal directly with addressing districts that are at the 20 mil floor. Because again, these are the districts where people are seeing huge property tax increases when they have a reappraisal or 20 update. I have a little X's beside those because those right now, those bills that they went through would not impact Wadsworth City Schools because we are not at the 20 mil floor. The other two, House Bill 309 and 133, deal with different ways of property tax reform through limiting increase on the inside millage, as well as giving more power to the county budget commission. Those could impact Wadsworth City Schools if those legislative items went through and were adopted by our state legislator and signed by the governor. Additionally to that, here locally in Medina County, and I know we're going to have some discussion on this a little bit later and possibly pass a resolution. The state budget bill this past summer gave the county commissioners a different tool to piggyback on the homestead exemption. So what is the homestead exemption? That's a tax credit that certain people that are eligible for it, elderly people, if you're eligible based on certain incomes, get a tax credit on their tax bill. This piggyback allows the county commissioners to double that credit to those residents of Medina County and residents of Wadsworth City Schools. If our county commissioners approve that initiative, that would mean $555,000 annually less in property taxes that would be collected at the county level and sent to the Wadsworth City Schools. So we would lose over $500,000 annually in collections. The concern with that is if we take action locally, property tax reform at the state level is probably going to happen. We have 4 pending bills out there. I'll mention this a little bit later in the biennial budget, but there was a lot of language in the budget dealing with property tax reform. There's a lot going on with our state because of those 3 things that I mentioned earlier. I'm pretty sure something's going to happen with property tax reform at the state level. It's inevitable. Property taxes are on the rise in Ohio. There's definitely an issue. I agree that something needs to happen. But it's got to happen in a way that the education community has held harmless or somewhat harmless as it is. So the concern is if the county commissioners do something and something still happens at the state level, then we kind of get it coming from both directions. And Amanda has drafted some language for a resolution tonight, and that's one of the things that we mentioned in there is that if there's going to be reform, let's let it happen at the state level. We don't need to double up on that here at the local level. Okay, so here in Medina County, we did have a reappraisal this year. People got their new home values. As I mentioned, their property values are going to go up. The effective millage rate on our voted levies is going to go down. An example of that is the 2021 levy that we just passed for operating was voted on at 6.7 mils. That's now collecting 5.3 mils. It's going to be further reduced when our values come to us. We have not yet received our new values. We have not received the new millage rates. We usually receive those in the middle of December for collection 2026. The point here is because of the reappraisal, we're not going to see that huge increase in additional revenue because we're now at the 20 mil floor. Only our 5.1 inside mills are going to be impacted by the reappraisal. So to think of that in another way, 17% of our millage, of our tax rate, will be impacted by the reappraisal. The rest of it, over 80% of it, will not. Those millage rates will be rolled back and we don't receive additional dollars. So that's why the reform is really critical on how it happens for Wadsworth City Schools, because again, as our values go up, our tax revenues don't necessarily go up like they may in some other districts. Another interesting fact, in 1976, very similar time to now, home values going up, high inflation rates, that's when House Bill 920 went into effect. At that time, we were collecting 34.3 mils. Today, we're collecting 28.4. So our tax rate today is lower than it was in 1976, even though we've passed a variety of levies throughout the years. So the point here is like our tax rate is not necessarily higher. It's actually lower than it was in 1976. So what does all that mean? All this property tax reform and discussions for Wadsworth City Schools and the 4-year forecast. So for this year, we're projecting just a 2% increase in property values. You might say, why? We just had property, in property taxes. You might say, why? Because property values just went up. Well, again, that's only going to impact 17% of our bill. On top of that, we're only going to see half of that this year. So that's collection year 2026, which is half of our fiscal year 2026. So it takes 2 years for those values to phase in. So we'll get a half a year collection this year, and then the other half in fiscal year 27. On top of that, our collections this fall for the last half of 2025 were actually down 1.6% over the previous year. So if you can find the lower collections this first half of 2020 or first half of fiscal year 26 with the higher values that we'll see next starting in January, it averages out to about a 2% increase. We're projecting a little more than that in fiscal year 26 at 3.3% because we're hoping those delinquencies or whatever's causing that 1.6% decrease in the first half will correct itself. On the public utility personal property tax, that's the Nexus pipeline primarily. Huge increase this year, almost 12% is what we're projecting. That's because Nexus has been making their retro payments to us over the course of fiscal year 24 and 25. So those should be calendar years 24 and 25. I apologize for that. So here in fiscal year 26 in the fall of 2025, we received an extra $446,000. That's the reason for that huge 12% increase. Next year, we're showing a decrease because we need to back out those one-time retro payments that we've been receiving the last 2 years. So while our values may go up and our rates may maintain the same, we won't have those one-time collections that we had from those retro payments back in 2024 and 2025. Shifting now to the state budget. First of all, focusing on the second bullet there, I think the state budget was a case study in political distraction. They did a great job of focusing on our attention. When I say our attention, I mean our professional organizations, OSBA, BASA, OASBO, the Treasurer's Organization, on all of the property tax reform rhetoric that was going on. We were talking about things like 30% carryover cash balances, and additional property tax reform taking, dismantling the 20 mil floor, whatever it might be. There was a ton of discussion and things that ended up getting included in the bill from the House and the Senate. Fortunately, the governor vetoed all of those property tax reforms. Since then, 2 of those have been overridden by vetoes, primarily dealing with the 20 mil floor. So the 2 items that have been vetoed don't impact Wadsworth City Schools. But they did a great job of focusing on that we didn't even, they didn't even care, but we couldn't even give any attention towards how are you going to fund schools. So previous to that, we always talked about the input factors. and making sure that those kept up with inflation. We couldn't even worry about those because we had to protect what we had. We couldn't even think about what we can get. So because of that, they left our funding at fiscal year 22 rates. So we are getting funded by the state of Ohio as if it was 2022 here in 2026 and 2027. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know what I can go to the store and buy at fiscal year 22 costs today with the inflation that we've seen over the last 4 years. But the state continues to fund us there. So we think we're seeing about $250,000 over the 2 years in increases in state aid. So we really aren't seeing a whole lot there. So just kind of to summarize, on the revenue side, a lot of stuff going on with property tax reform. Property taxes don't grow. We're going to get a little bit from our inside millages, and we didn't get much from the state. Staffing, just to focus on a little bit on the expenditure side, you know what we've done there with the elimination of 8 teaching positions plus the 6 at Grizzly Academy. We have additional staffing reductions focused in the forecast for the next 2 years. I think 4 for this year and 3 the following year are already in the forecast as we continue to manage our staffing with our declining enrollment. Health insurance continues to be a big item for us as well. We enjoyed several good years there, but the last 2 years have been very difficult. Our loss ratio over the past 24 months is 118%, meaning for every $100 we pay into the consortium, they're paying out $118 in claims. What does that lead to? It leads to 18 and 16% renewals. And so far into fiscal year 2026, we're trending very similar to that as well. So I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of relief coming there as well. So I realize this is all a lot of information and some of it not so good, but the last thing I want to focus on is purchase services. This is probably the biggest change since the forecast in May. We continue just to see a lot of increased costs dealing with utilization and inflation on the purchase service. So this is primarily tuition for special needs students, special needs contractors that we bring in, and third-party contractors to help buildings, particularly on the HVAC side. We've had a rough year when it comes to regulating our buildings on the HVAC side and have had to pay out some significant dollars for third-party contractors to come in and assist us with that. So that all leads to a not so pretty revenue versus expenditure chart. You can see our blue line there being our revenues, as I've mentioned, is relatively flat, and our expenditures continue to increase even with our staffing reductions because of some of those things that I just mentioned related to healthcare, purchase services, and our negotiated agreements with our support staffs. There's just another way to look at that. So our ending cash balance is the same from a standpoint of when it turns red, when we deficit in fiscal year 28. It was fiscal year 28 in May, and I think it was fiscal year 28 back in a year ago in November when we looked at the forecast. The red number has gotten a little bit bigger though since it was in May, primarily because of those purchase services and insurance trends that are changing. So we do show a positive balance through this fiscal year and next year, but by fiscal year 28, we're going to have to make some decisions. And because of that is now the third year of the forecast. When we submit this to the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, they will require us to submit a written report outlining the district's plan to correct the negative balance. So we'll need to have some additional conversations with Dr. Hill, myself, and you on what we want to include in that report and how exactly we're going to go about correcting that moving forward. So that's my not so great news tonight. Hopefully none of it's particularly shocking to you because we've been talking about this for the last 18 months at least. But it's kind of getting a little bit closer to us now, so it's time that we need to continue to monitor. I think we have been doing a good job monitoring. We reduced staff last year and this year, and that's our number one expense. But there's a lot of other factors going on around us that we really don't have a lot of control, primarily on the revenue side, that are not helping our financial picture. So with that, I know we're going to have some additional conversations about the commissioners tonight, and then during my portion of the agenda, I'll ask that you approve the forecast so I can submit it to the department. So all the property tax reform, whether at the state or local level, none of that is in there. So because none of that's been passed in legislation, my approach usually is I don't put anything into the forecast until we know it for real. But I often talk about it in the presentations or the assumptions. So if you read through the assumptions, there's a lot of conversation, just like in this presentation, about it. But it also notes that in the assumptions that none of the numbers related to property tax reform are in the forecast. So anything that's passed at the state or county level will change things for us.
Numbers, when you talked about the makeup payments, not counting those, what would we normally be receiving from them?
What is the amount from Nexus? I don't know. I can get you
Just the
number.
ballpark. Yeah, if you could just let us know that.
I can tell you how much we get from Nexus. Because they're making these retro payments is because they had tried to have their values decreased and they were all overturned. So I think it's around 70% of their original values that they're getting taxed at now. But how much that is, I'll have to go back and look.
Okay, no, appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to continue the administrative discussion items. Medina County. Discussion.
Sure. So we received notice, I think it was last week, that the commissioners are considering piggyback on the homestead. Maybe Doug, you want to talk about how you mentioned it. This is a refresher what that actually means.
Put a piggyback, they would basically be doubling the homestead exemption. With the homestead exemption now, tax credit, so we collect less, but then there's a reimbursement. Back would now not have any additional reimbursements. So currently, the tax credit that are eligible for, we get a reimbursement and we're made whole. Back, we would not. So this would just be a reduction in what those people that are eligible for the exemption get, reducing $500,000 annually. Property tax reform. I'm not sure if this is a way that impacts every district and every tax county equally. A lot of the reform, like I've mentioned, is being driven by other factors that are outside our control at the state level on the 20 mil floor that are going to see huge increases in property tax collections as a result of the Medina County reappraisal. I know the county commissioners are cognizant of the impact that the reappraisal is going to have on residents throughout the county. It will have a negative impact for many of those residents, especially the people that are eligible for the homestead exemption. Just not sure if that's the right thing to do with all the pending legislation at the state level and the fact that it impacts every district equally across the county when not all the districts are at the 20 mil floor.
So the ability to do this and a couple other options that dealt with inside and I think it's something to deal with those in property were put into law through the state budget bill. Those are the options that the commissioners have been discussing. Commissioner Hambley did reach out to me probably a few weeks ago and shared what they were considering and having discussions about. And then last week we got this formal letter. I'll read a couple parts of this to help with the context of where they're at. They're saying that the appeal of the homestead expansion is that the relief is available to seniors, veterans, and other financially vulnerable individuals in our county who are most susceptible to losing their homes to an ever-increasing property tax burden. By our calculations, this targeted relief will spread about $5.5 million of tax relief and will result in savings of between $1,000 to $2,000 per eligible property owner. The other local options available make it less an impact to those who need relief the most. They go on to say the timelines for taking action are almost impossibly short for these steps to be implemented the next year. For next year, we must act to approve the homestead exemption before the end of this month. Even though this provides limited time to receive feedback on this action, we still welcome it from your respective governing boards and councils, either by way of resolution or by attendance and comment at an upcoming commission. That's taken in part from the letter that they sent to us last week that we had shared. Obviously, our concern continues to be, I don't think anybody is disputing that there's this top property tax crisis, whatever you want to call it, that's going on. It takes time to sit in any type of meeting in our county or quite honestly across the state to understand that the changes Doug talked about earlier, the shifting of that 21% roughly, put it back on local residents from the state is having an impact on people in a negative way. But we also recognize that every one of these things that happen or gets proposed, whether it's locally or at the state level with the plethora of bills that are introduced that I touched on earlier, the bill of certain provisions, or the override of a veto rather, recently happened in the Senate, that all of those things start to, especially when you factor in, like Doug mentioned earlier, that we are a district that is not at the 20 million. So a lot of the conversation that's happening around this stuff, dealing with those that are seeing significant increases in revenue coming in because of the property values, while we will see some, that's not Wadsworth. And so express to Commissioner Hambley that each one of these things, while we understand why they need to be discussed, those maybe have a larger impact on a school district like us who are not at the 20th floor. And so we're looking for conversation here tonight on what the commissioners have asked for that I read, which is the possibility of providing feedback to them either in a resolution and or attendance at the meeting. Doug and I do plan to attend, is it tomorrow morning, the 9:30 a.m. commissioner meeting tomorrow, to listen in and possibly participate or deliver any type of message that you may want us to deliver on your behalf. So President Gordon, I'll turn this over to you to just kind of take it from here, but that's what we're looking for, is some guidance from you.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go around in just a minute. I wanted to ask, and Andy, you addressed it or recited in their letter, that the commissioners are under the impression that they need to take action by the end of October in order to get it on, have it become effective for next year. We've had some discussions under the statute that basically states that if they want to impose this piggyback homestead, in order to make it effective for this tax year, for next year collection, they would have had to have done it by July 1st. We're obviously after July 1st, so one of our arguments would be whatever they would want to do in October, November, whatever, could not by law be effective for this tax year for collection next year. So one of the other arguments we would have for having them to hold off a bit would be because they have more time to do that, to be able to effectuate it, because otherwise it won't be available for collection until collection 27. So, and I knew you reached out to some of them. Did we get any?
We've been exchanging voicemails with the county administrator, Matt Springer, who we know from his time here in Wadsworth as the economic development director. Matt's been timely in responding. We just have not been able to connect yet to ask that question to find out why the letter is worded the way that it is when it appears that the statute says something different. So that is a question that tomorrow at the meeting we can bring up and ask if it doesn't get addressed in their discussions.
Okay, I appreciate that. So we, for discussion tonight for the rest of our board members, working with Doug and Andy, put together, in case this is what we wanted to do, a form of resolution opposing the adoption of the piggyback homestead, and then also adopting a policy position statement with respect to these matters. The policy position statement has multiple bullet points on that attachment one that you have before you, and it sets forth and tries to put in a nutshell the best we could, Doug, what these impacts are and why we oppose this. And I think one of the things we wanted to make sure in this legislation, if this is what we end up doing, is we want to make sure that folks understand, because it's a really fine line between wanting to make sure that there is reform to help impacted property owners, and we want to be considerate of that, while on the other hand, keep taking away from public schools and telling us to continue to improve our services or maintain them at a certain level and keep taking more money from us to be able to do that. So, we need to advocate for our position so that we can fulfill our mission to our kids and our families. So we were trying to state those things in that way so that folks could understand and try to cover our entire policy position statement on this. So I'd like to offer anyone who can just go around and see if you've had a chance to review this, if you like this approach. I personally, in talking to Doug and Andy, I like the idea of us showing up, having representatives at the meeting, and maybe the following meeting in October, I think October 21st, but also presenting them a resolution in some form like this so that they can truly review and see the numbers and the impact and where we are. So I don't know if anybody wants to go first, or I can just call on. Okay, Gary.
I'm totally fine with the process of putting in a resolution. I do agree with the mobile present and the meetings that they have. Kind of lifetime, I think, is a good approach. With Amanda, what you just cited on the rules of the deadline of July 1st, do you think we should add that as one of the bullet points in the back? Because we're kind of stating all these reasons, but I think that's also a good thing to state. If they really can't implement the reduction in tax collection, it wouldn't be effective until 2027 anyways.
Yeah, because one of the things we were advocating in here was, hold off on the local response until we see what the state does, and that's what we are really kind of hoping for. But I like that idea, Gary, because they really don't have to hustle this quickly, and I think it's just a little bit of a folly to do that at this point, which will allow us more time to see what the state's going to do, if anything. So, do you want to drive something on that then? Okay. Is everybody else in agreement with that? Yes.
Does it get added as a whereas? Did we whereas and reference the statute? Or is it on the position statement?
I think we put it in the position statement. You might have to make the print smaller to keep it on one page.
I'm out.
Okay, but yeah, Gary, I think that's great. Okay, Tim?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Mr. Beeman, for your presentation, and I think that's going to be helpful, again, for us moving forward or for anyone in the community as a reference point, something for us to continue to keep our eyes on. Obviously, we all want to advocate for public education, and so I am in support of this document. I do feel like we need to be patient. I know it's very confusing in all aspects right now at the state and the county level, but seeing that there are 4 active proposals that are being debated at present, one of which is on the 7th round of discussion. There are still some decisions that are going to happen at some point, I would imagine, sooner than later at the state level. And so I do feel like we just need to kind of ride this out a little bit. And if we could get some cooperation from the county, obviously that would be helpful for us. But I think it would be a beneficial model for other school districts as well and communities.
Did you have any additions, or did you like?
No, I think I appreciate this, so I think we're good.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Sure. Julie?
I really don't have anything to add. I concur with everybody else on the board here that I feel that we need to approve this resolution. Make sure that the county commissioners are aware that we have done so. And I think we just need to wait and see where things go with the state and several initiatives and things that they have going on there. And then we can see what may need to be done on the county level. I don't have anything to add. I think I'm supporting this resolution.
Well, and I suppose if they don't play ball, we can just stick Ava on them. So that's right. Okay, thank you, Julie. And we don't. I don't think we need to put it in the position statement because I think we kind of touch on it a bit. But one of the things, Doug, I think I was talking to you about was, and again, in light of the fact that there are 4 districts in Medina County that are at the floor, and they're the ones that are one of the reasons that there's a problem, and we're not at this point. And one of the things I was trying to conceptualize over the weekend was, the benefit to the property owners by this piggyback homestead. Our property owners in our district, because we're not at the 20 mil floor, will not see as big of a relief and impact as those others. So, and then because math wasn't my favorite, I called Doug to say, okay, am I really thinking about this right? And Doug agreed that it is. So, just if we can, as you're talking to the commissioners, kind of bring that point out a little further that, look, but the big impact to us is losing, $550,000 a year. Figure out what we can do with that money to continue to improve. And it seems like every time we get a chance to get ahead on any particular revenue, then something like this happens, and we lose over half of it. So if there's an opportunity to bring that point out a little bit more, I'd like you to take that opportunity to do that. So okay, any other thoughts?
Just one.
Yeah.
I really like the last bullet in your position statement. It talks about continued revenue reductions, like require the district to seek a higher millage levy in the near future, exacerbating the imposition of the county proposal, thereby shifting larger tax burden back onto district residents throughout the county. So $555,000 is the equivalent of about $500,000 based on our property values. So in the future, if we decide to put a levy on the ballot, it's going to come higher than if this doesn't happen. So I think that's an important thing that we'll bring up with them tomorrow as well.
And to your
so
point,
is that really property tax reform if we reduce it just to have to come back and ask for more?
Right. And to your point on that, it won't just impact the people that are supposed to be getting relief from this piggyback. It's going to impact everybody in the district. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good. If you want to make that more bold, that's fine with me. So, okay, we will we will introduce this under board member items and take a vote at that point. That's okay. So, okay. Thank you. We'll keep advocating for our position, and I appreciate both of you and all of your good work on that. So, okay, then I guess we're at C. We're looking for Board of Education special meeting or meetings to meet with PTO presidents and set the board's school goals. I think we wanted to try maybe, depending on what you guys want to do, maybe trying to do it all in one meeting, or maybe the PTO presidents go first and then we can do our goals, just given folks' schedules. But you were looking towards the end of October, beginning of November?
Yeah, I think so. Last year when you set your goals, you did those after we did building tours. So I thought it may not be an unreasonable request to see if we can consolidate all that into one meeting, but there's no reason that it can't be separate meetings if that's what it needs to be. And we're not really on the time. There's not, whether it's 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, it's kind of different. So it just needs to happen soon for both of them. I think you said you wanted to make sure the PTO meeting happened in the fall, and the goals usually were somewhere end of September through the end of October when those get set. So if it went into the beginning of November, that's not changing anything significantly for you.
Okay, let me throw out two. You guys can shoot them down or say okay, and then we can move from there. Either October 29th or October 30th in the evening.
I could do. Is Halloween? Is that the day it is? It's Friday. Trick or treat.
Is what date?
But didn't the city move it?
It's not trick or treat. It is Halloween, but it's not trick or treat.
Okay.
I'm not available on the 29th in the evening.
Okay.
Yeah, trick or treat's the 25th from 6 to 8, Saturday the 25th.
Okay.
That's what the City of Wadsworth calendar shows. And
Yeah, that's right.
I had
It's
actually
Saturday
heard
before.
that.
Facebook put out that.
The 30th would be a better 30th would be a better night.
Yeah.
For me personally as well.
30th would be fine.
Tim, what?
Yeah, 30th is good.
Gary's going to say something different.
Well, I'm not positive at the moment, but it's postseason volleyball.
Possibility.
So it could be a possibility of a date. So why don't we go ahead and select that since it's the majority, and then I'll reconfirm whether or not I can do it.
Would that be the state weekend?
States weekend.
The week after.
Okay.
All right.
Sometimes they move them to the Wednesday, Saturday games too, so I have to look at the whole bracket.
What time would you like to start the meeting?
Keeping in mind for the PTO, do any of the PTOs have meetings that night? Do you know?
I do not know.
It doesn't.
Anyone?
The principals are saying.
Everybody's shaking now. Okay. You're right on that. Thank you. Okay, so do you want to say 6 o'clock then? And then we can do the PTO presidents first and to be mindful of their time and then move on. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have it here at the high school. Probably up in the media center, but we'll put that in the purpose statement as we get closer.
Okay, nice. We said 6, right?
6 o'clock on October
That's what you said,
Thursday,
Amanda.
Thursday, October 30th, 6
What did I
p.m.
say?
PTO presidents first, and then goal setting second. And it'll be here at the high school.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Two other items on here are both written about on the detail sheet. The quality profile is linked there. If someone hasn't seen it, it's definitely worth a review. And congratulations again to our boys high school varsity soccer team on their National Academic Team Award. Congratulations to Coach Johnson and the boys. That's all I have.
Okay. Anyone here for public participation? I'm going to just cut to the chase on that. Steve, you got anything for us tonight? Good answer. Okay. Moving on to administrative items. Back to
All right.
Dr.
Thank you. Tonight with the personnel consent items, I have 1A through E for your consideration. There was addendum items that came out for that tonight, this afternoon, late morning. 1B for a non-teaching employee, and then 1D for a supplemental contract. The other change that I need to make is to remove item 1B1, non-teaching school employee recommendation for Christine Hall. Ms. Hall notified us today that she's accepted a different job elsewhere, so I need to remove her from the agenda. So at this time, I'm happy to answer questions, but I'm recommending to you personnel consent items 1A through E with the addition of B4, D4, and the removal of B1.
I'm going to make you repeat that backwards. Okay, can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second. Any questions or comments? Roll call, Doug.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas. Aye. Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, I have a personnel item, a standalone. It's employment of Tim Beck as a volunteer.
Just sliding that in, that's pretty sketchy. I don't know.
Happy to answer any questions relating to that. I don't know what I have at this time.
We only have so much time in a meeting. All right, can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Doug.
Gary McComas. Aye. Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye,
Tim Beck.
Present, but not voting.
but still volunteering. Thank you, Tim.
Attorney marketing would be very happy to hear that phrase. Next is action consent items. I have items 1 through 12. 12 came out today on the addendum. It's an esports contract, our application and release of waiver liability for the middle school team. Friday, when we put this out, there was already one-page document for the middle school esports program, and then sometime over the weekend, the esports network decided the middle school needed a second document. So that's why you see 3 different things. The high school only needs 1, the middle school needs 2. So I'm recommending to you items 1 through 12. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. I think most of these are written about on the detail. I know most of these are written about on the detail sheet. I'm happy to answer questions if you have any.
Okay, may I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, Doug.
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, as if we haven't heard from Doug enough tonight, we'll do items of the treasurer.
2 items tonight. One is to adopt the 4-year forecast and assumptions that I presented on earlier. And then, of course, there's some financial reports.
Okay, and thanks for all of your work on that too. May I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Doug.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas. Aye. Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Legislative update. Find that money tree for us, Tim.
Yeah, I'm going to be brief with this. We've heard enough about it's just been the whole year is how are we going to pay for schools. So we've heard a lot about that already tonight. I'll just share one thing that was kind of in the works, but it's now been fully approved. The governor has announced a new Ohio school bus safety grant program, $10 million to help repair, replace, or add safety features to school buses. So there you go. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Now we're to the board member items. The first one in 11A is the ratification of resignations, A1. So if I could get a motion and a second for that.
So moved.
Okay, Roll call, Doug?
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye. Okay, and the next one, we would like to add to the agenda, and I'll just read the title for this, but resolution opposing the adoption of a piggyback homestead exemption by the Board of Commissioners of the County of Medina, adopting a policy position statement in connection therewith, and approving and authorizing matters related thereto. So we'd like to add that to the agenda, and I'd like to get a motion in a second to adopt that.
So moved.
Okay, any further comments? And that will include that additional piece of information.
About the July
requested
1st deadline.
By the July 1st deadline, yes. Okay. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Roll call, Doug?
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
And can we make sure that we post this on our website so our community members know that we're advocating for us? Okay, thank you. Okay. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. We have more board member items before our board member items. Okay, we also have the ratification of resignations in the addendum A2 and 3. Sorry about that. Motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Doug?
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Okay. So while I shuffle all this paper, we will go to other board member items, and Ava, we'll hear from you first.
So finally, some good news. Our football team is still undefeated and prepping for the playoffs, and our volleyball team is also prepping for playoffs. Their first game is next week. Our cross-country girls just won the Suburban League Championship over the weekend, making them Suburban League champions for the past 3 years in a row. And some members will move on to districts next week. In the arts side, our choir just hosted a sold-out concert and has started prepping for their holiday show. The band will be celebrating senior night this Friday, and they've prepared a special show in honor of their seniors. This past Saturday, Rhythm and Red hosted Rising Star Camp for kindergartners through 6th graders, where they taught them a song and dance to perform for their parents. Tri-M, our Music Honor Society, will be hosting their induction ceremony on October 22nd, and the middle school musical Finding Nemo Jr. tickets are now on sale for the upcoming show. In the academic side, Huddle will be starting back up this Thursday. Huddle is for 3rd and 4th graders, where the high schoolers will go through training and we can prepare lessons to teach them life skills and safety for the future. The University of Akron will be hosting a FAFSA Help Day on November 16th, and National Honor Society hosted a successful blood drive this week where we were able to fill all of our donation spots and we hit maximum capacity by the end of the day. I'm so excited to see what we can do next month, and I'll be back with some more fun news, I guess.
I think we're just going to lead with you from now on. Thank you very, very much. And you're doing a great job. We appreciate it. Hey, Julie?
Alrighty, well, the board had an opportunity to begin our board tours of our school buildings, and we visited Grizzly Academy in Lincoln Elementary and Valley View in Isham, and had a wonderful time learning about all of the initiatives that are happening at those buildings, and got to see some assemblies, got to see the new playground at Valley View, so it's been it was wonderful to get out and get into the classrooms. Also wanted to comment, I know that the Grizzly Academy does not have a PTO, so their one and only fund drive has started. It's the Grizzly Academy Champions Fund Drive, and I know that's been sent out and it's been posted, I believe, on our Facebook page and so forth. But Grizzly Academy, looking for donations to continue doing the wonderful things that they do for the kids at Grizzly Academy and their families. And also wanted to mention, we've mentioned this before, but through a grant with the Wadsworth Grizzly Community Foundation, the Wadsworth Art Department will be bringing in November a collage artist named Michael Albert, and he is going to be visiting all of our schools November 3rd through the 6th. and he will be, then there will be on November 5th, Make and Meet the Artist, a community event where families and the whole community are invited at Wadsworth, I believe at Wadsworth Middle School cafeteria from 6 to 7:30. So I know all of the schools, I've seen in all of the newsletters, are asking families and the community to donate cereal boxes and product food boxes to be used to make, for the students to make collages, so with the artist. So exciting event, and again, love how all of the collaboration takes place too, where Wadsworth Community Grizzly Foundation donates and gives a grant, and then our art department works with all of the buildings, and we bring about an event for our entire community. That's all. Thank you. Tim?
Yeah, I also appreciated the time. That's my favorite thing, is just walking through the schools and seeing sort of the behind the scenes of everything it takes to, just on an average school day. And one thing that I observed this time as we went through 3 elementaries in the Grizzly Academy is just the way in which our administrators and staff and teachers collaborate. Collaboration, I think, is a valuable asset to any school or community. And just one quick example, just at the Grizzly Academy, just seeing how the different teachers and aides work together to either de-escalate or just keep the ship moving. And I really appreciated, there was an older gentleman, I'm not sure if he was a volunteer or an aide, but just he was in the hallway working with different students, and how gentle he was in his approach to calm a student down who just needed that almost grandfatherly presence. I appreciated that. I want to give a shout out to the drama department, Mrs. Patterson and Mrs. Bernard. They're trying some creative things to build community amongst the drama and musical programs. So they had a kickball game a couple weeks ago where the cast and crew of Lost Girl, which will be November 13th through 15th of the play, took on in kickball the Christmas show, which is the Holiday Channel Christmas Movie Wonderthon, which will be in December. So anyway, just a creative way to get the cast and crew together to build some chemistry. So that was a lot of fun. And then also I was able to see the show choir performance on Thursday. 240 members of our high school are in our high school choir, so that's pretty cool. And then one last thing, if you'll allow me to give you a little bit of history and how something I learned recently relates to Wadsworth High School. So while girls began playing organized high school basketball in the 1920s, interscholastic sports for girls faced decades of resistance. In 1937, the OHSAA surveyed schools about girls basketball, and over half voted to end it, calling it unladylike and unsafe. In 1940, a statewide referendum banned all girls interscholastic sports, a policy that lasted for 25 years. In the 50s and 60s, there were limited competition in the OHSAA without official sponsorship. But that all changed in 1975 when the OHSAA officially sanctioned girls' championship competitions. Cross country was among the first sports to hold a state meet. And this fall marks the 50th anniversary of the Wadsworth High School girls cross country team. This past weekend, as the current team celebrated their 3rd straight league title, alumni gathered to honor the program's 50th anniversary. Among them were the runners from Wadsworth High School, the 1979 and 1980 back-to-back state champions, led by Coach John Martin, who was here earlier tonight, with his grandson, who was honored as Student of the Month. So it was just a really neat time for the alumni to celebrate 50 years of our girls cross-country program a few days ago at the Suburban League meet. And I just think it's pretty cool to see the history of how athletics, particularly for girls sports, has overcome certain milestones, and that we have back-to-back state champions from 1970 1980 who were gathered to celebrate. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thanks.
Thank you. Gary?
Thank you. Just wanted to say congratulations to all the students of the month. You guys, I've said it 100 times now, but I'll say it 102 times. But it's always my favorite part. And it's just neat to see all the accomplishments, you know, from elementary all the way up, and how smart these kids are and the things that they accomplish. So it's very impressive. I want to say thank you to everybody, all the teachers, staff, administration. It's been a pretty good start to the school year. It's, what I said, they've been pretty smooth. I'm sure not everybody maybe feel that way on a day-to-day, but it seems to have been a pretty smooth start out. And then congratulations and good luck to all the sports teams that are competing in the fall and all the tournaments that started in some sports and they'll finish up. So good luck to everybody. It's going to be an exciting fall closure and with maybe some champions.
Thank you. And one of the benefits of going last is you guys already covered everything I wanted to, so thank you for that. And I do wish all of our kids the best of luck as they complete their seasons and get ready for the next thing on their agenda. So at this point, we will go into executive session for purposes of A2 listed there, which is employment. And then also E, matters required to be kept confidential by federal law, rules, or state statutes. So if I could get a motion in a second to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Doug. Sorry.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Amanda Gordon.
Aye. Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.